I really like this idea, so I did it. I ranked the entire Cosmere. The only book I left out was Tress of the Emerald Sea, and that is because it's so recent and recency bias is a thing. I don't want to accidentally place it too high. Not that it doesn't deserve it, because it's very good, but yeah. So let's check out my list. I do want to point out that just because something's at the bottom, like Allomancer Jack's at the bottom, doesn't mean I don't enjoy it. I enjoy the entire Cosmere. This is just the level of enjoyment I get from the book. Let's start at the bottom, work our way up. Allomancer Jack, White Sand, Hope of Elantris, the 11th Metal. White Sand has a chance to go up. Brandon plans on writing it out as a full novel, not a graphic novel. Different than the prose version you see in Arcanum Unbounded, so it has a chance to hop this list. Well of Ascension is definitely bottom tier for me when it comes to main Cosmere books. Edge Dancer, it's good. I don't care to reread it. I will when I do a full Stormlight reread, but, you know, it is what it is. Alloy of Laws next, good, not great. I don't think that's going to shock anybody. Elantris, now, I do think Elantris has a chance to hop this list as well once the sequels come out. I think it'll put this book into a new perspective, and it might go higher on the list. Shadows for Silence, Dawn Shard, Six of the Dusk are definitely top tier novellas by Brandon. They're not the number one novella, which I'm sure you can see, but I love all of them. It might actually shock some people that I put 6th above Dawn Shard, but I am probably definitely in the minority of people who really like Six of the Dusk. And I gotta be honest, I shocked myself at putting Bands of Mourning here, but when you see everything above it, I mean, this is the only spot that it could go. And then the Lost Metal, and this is why I tend to wait to rank things, because I still really love the Lost Metal, but it's not even above Shadows of Self for me. So right after reading it, I probably would have put it as my favorite Era 2 book, and I probably would have ranked it much higher in this list. With a little bit of space and a little bit of thought behind it, I still love the Lost Metal. It doesn't break the top 10. And with Shadows of Self, it's definitely my favorite of Era 2, and I probably like this more than most people, but I just really love the story. Oathbringer at 8, and I know people probably are going to disagree with me on having Oathbringer and Rhythm of War so low. They're good books, they're just not my favorite. I went back and forth on Hero of Ages and Secret History on which one I like better, and I think Secret History just barely edges it out. And then my top 5. If 5 is The Emperor's Soul, and that's why I say that this is always in flux, because a few months ago, before my Emperor's Soul reread, this would have been much lower. Way of Kings, Words of Radiance, phenomenal books. Words of Radiance is definitely my favorite Stormlight. And then I go back and forth on Warbreaker and Mistborn. But right now, Mistborn: The Final Empire is my favorite. That's my list.